No, I got to lean in.
With a special guest to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Our new girls of Bravo. What's going on, Jamie?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm glad you are here. You know, we be kicking on Facebook talking about all these.
Okay, that's not us anymore.
Come on, flashback. Come on, flashback.
It's not us anymore. But I had to add that in there because when we started this show, was it 3 years ago? It was just you and I. And as you heard, Amy at that time was just a special guest.
Not a special guest.
We went from special guest to co-host to hosting shows. So anyway, what's going on, Jamie? Welcome to the first recap and review for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 4. We have been with this show from the beginning, as you just saw, and it's been a long, rocky, irritating, draining time. And every time we say that we're not going to come back, somehow we always end up back here. But this is like any abusive relationship, you know, not to promote that. But Jamie, how are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. And seeing that video, I was talking to a friend of mine about how long I've been doing this. I'm very glad you kept me around. There were a couple of times you wanted to shut my square off. So thank you.
Yeah, this square, we should have been canceled many times and so should you. But you know, we're still here. As well as this damn show, Salt Lake City. If they can be on air for all these seasons, we can too, because they're just as problematic. Yeah, so I see people in the chat. What's going on, BKC Empress? Taylor, Chase is here, classy lady. Who was that? Not Shantae said. I was confused for a second. Yeah, Shantae, before you was a part of this platform, me and Jamie were much younger individuals. And that's what
classy,
we look like.
Classy lady said, I thought they just didn't care tonight. Come on now. Taylor's talking about our budget back in 2020. Come on now, not too much.
No, we didn't care. I'm gagging. No, we gagged, y'all. Well, listen, we're here. This is live. That was just a little snippet. I had to give a little flashback of where we started. Make sure you guys hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe to the channel, you will know about these shows. Right now, there is a chaos of shows right now. We got Atlanta, which is ending, thank God. New York is happening. Salt Lake City is happening. Love Hip Hop Atlanta is happening. Lunch and Late. It's so many shows happening over here to where we're trying to figure out the best schedule. So just subscribe to the channel. You'll know exactly. Not he said Jenny. Not Jenny, Robos. We're not going back there.
We don't say her name here. In the words of Chase, the lady.
We say that lady.
That lady.
All right, listen, let's go ahead and get to the episode. Tonight's going to be myself and Jamie. Chad and Antonio are part of this panel. Antonio is in Brazil living his best life, and Chad cannot be here tonight. So throughout the season, we will be the 4 panelists, and you may see other special guests from the co-host circle as well. Where is dark skinned sister with the glasses? Jasmine is not a part of this panel. She can be, but she's on Atlanta, and you can also catch her on some of the lunch and leans, as well as like Meredith and Medicine Potomac. She's around. Hit her up on Instagram. She's waiting on Potomac, but she may be taking her little break soon because Atlanta ends. And yeah, so with that being said, let's get into the episode. So season 4. Now, season 4. So season 3 ended basically with Jen Shah going to jail. Now, we didn't see Jen at the reunion. We saw what happened with all that. We saw the little special they did where they kind of met up with her. And so finishing out the season, we had Angie K was around. She was Jen's friend and not her friend because, Jen decided to throw a glass of champagne on her head. Yeah, that was all last season. But in this season, we pick up with this little, I guess it was like a little moment where they were in Bermuda and Heather is freaking out. She's shaking and she doesn't want production in the room with her, even though they're like trying to get all the tea, what's going on. But then we get this, I would say, editing with this franchise, they're doing a good job because the way they show the little intro of them saying all the different scriptures from the Bible verses, and it shows who they're going to be beefing with. So I thought that was very interesting. So we'll see. I guess we kind of get like a glimpse of what's going to happen later, right? But we kick off the season with Lisa. And if you've been with us from the beginning, Lisa was one of my personal favorites. It's not because she's a supporter of the lean. She does watch this show, but because I always grew to like her. Now, there have been times where I go in and out of liking her, but consistently, she's been the one that I can always appreciate, regardless of how she is a villain, but doesn't want to actively admit to being a villain, right? We see her, she's getting ready for Sundance, and in this whole thing, she's getting stuff together, and she's in the car with John, and John just looks like he is just so tired. And I don't know if he's tired from just being sleepy, or is he tired of Lisa talking. Two things to be true, right? She is talking and talking and talking, and in the midst of talking, she takes phone calls, and then back to the conversation. But what we find out is that her son Jack is he has decided not to go to college. That was a big thing last season for her as he was prepping for that. We've seen them was it Jack the one they had the business for? Was that Jack or was
it he was more involved. It was like technically both of them, but I mean, I guess the other son was probably a little too young to really like get it. Jack was like, give me my money. I want this business so I can stack this paper and let's go.
So he's going to go on a mission. And I didn't know what a mission was. When I hear mission, I hear all kinds of things. A mission could be me going to the grocery store. A mission could be me finding the outfit for the Beyonce concert. But in this case, a mission is where he's going to be going away to help people, but not himself, on some type of spiritual journey. That's the kind of the way that she explained it. And so, she just talks about how she feels like she's kind of disconnected from Jack, and she feels, and her and John, because he told her that he's different. He's not like him or John. And so she feels disconnected. Very small scene, but any thoughts that you have on this, Jamie, to see, how Lisa was acting? Because she went from talking and talking and talking to crying to back to talking. And I was just like, this is Lisa. It has to, John is a very strong man to be married to this woman.
This scene, and since we were at the beginning, I've also gone back and forth on the Lisa train, more so off the Lisa train, just because I can feel sometimes she's a lot. Yeah. But when she's on, she is on. And this scene kind of encapsulated everything that is just manically insane about Lisa Barlow. How she can switch in and out of emotions, she can switch in and out of conversations, pick up right where she left off. It's such insane energy. Like it's draining, but at the same time, as a viewer, it's hilarious to watch in small doses. So episode 1, I'm back on the Lisa Barlow train. Okay. I will say I give it to Jack because Lisa and her husband both have been pretty open about they're not like avid, like super hardcore Mormons or pushing their kids to like really get involved and stuff like that. And from what we've seen there, Lisa said she's kind of a Mormon 2.0 or something. She drinks and she does this, but she still goes to church. So to have an 18-year-old child who actively says, hey, this kind of stuff is what I'm choosing to do without any prodding or anything from their parents, I actually really like that. Good for Jack. Most teens that are on TV are really like selfish and want to like, use their fame and their money to go and do something, less altruistic than a mission. So good job, Lisa Barlow, and all your craziness. You've raised a pretty good child who wants to go and make a difference in the world. So kudos.
Yeah. I agree, Love Fair. I def thinking, bless his heart, dealing with Lisa. I'm just like, bless his heart. Not that she's difficult to deal with, but I mean, she can, I don't want to use the word a lot because that's something that can be taken in the wrong way, but she can be a lot.
They're different. They're very different
so
personalities.
Different, but, hopefully there is no truth to what Monica is saying that may be true or whatever, but, I hope they say, if that is her forever man, then he is perfect for her because he has the most patience to be with her.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next scene, we see that Heather has purchased a new home. Her previous home she's been in since she was once married forever ago. All her kids were raised in that house, and we see her new home. It's nice. It's big. I think it was like 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, I believe. It's a big house. She's out in her little fashions with her big old platform, disco 70 boot shoes, and she's shoveling. And we see Meredith. Meredith shows up, and Heather had the Bad Mormon book. The book, she said, is doing well, and she's got a lot of church backlash, mainly for being friends with Jen. I'm like, girl, you should have been getting that. You've been getting that since season 1 because we all felt like that friendship was weird. But also because of the scrutiny of the black eye, the mysterious black eye. And again, rightfully deserved, because that storyline was probably the worst storyline that I have witnessed on Housewives next to Lucy Lou, the dog from on Beverly Hills.
Not
I don't
Lucy
know which
Lou.
one was first. Was it Lucy Lou? Was it Lucy
Lou? Lucy Lou from Charlie's Angels.
Okay,
Lucy
well,
Goosey, Apple Juicy.
Lucy, whatever the damn dog name. That's why you know it's awful. I'm sorry, Lucy Lou. I am so sorry if you're watching this show.
I'm so sorry, Lucy Lou.
I'm sorry, Lucy girl. My bad. Wrong Lucy. And so they sit down and they talk about her and Whitney's relationship. She said that she recently spoke to her. They show a scene and they kind of said they're trying to get back on track. You know, that there's a little trust, a few trust issues there, but they're going to get back on track, right? And then Meredith says, well, she also has issues. And this is where things get interesting. I said, okay, Meredith, you know, she went from disengaging to slightly engaging to now, baby, she is fully activated. Because in this moment, she says her issue spirals from an interview or some press release, something that Whitney did, where she basically said that she doesn't like to take baths. She takes baths by herself. And she feels like Meredith taking a bath with her husband in a bathtub was just disgusting. It's creepy, bacteria in the tub, all these descriptions. So she's reading the message in Whitney's very annoying voice. I thought she did a really good job because it was just as annoying as Whitney. And she makes a comment. It was like, well, you know, does she clean her hot tub that has 85 people in it? I'm like, this is going somewhere. And Heather is just soaking all this in and laughing. And in my mind, I'm like, girl, you trying to be good terms with Whitney. And I'm just wondering if Whitney sees it, is she going to still want to be friends with you? But neither here nor there. The question I want to ask you, as well as your thoughts on this scene, was, do you think Meredith is uptight? Because Heather was like, you know, I can tell if Meredith's being serious or not, because, you know, Heather is more of a free-spirited, joking woman. Everything seems to be a joke to her. But, you know, do you think that Meredith is uptight in some ways? And just your thoughts on everything that she you know, gave out about Whitney's interview and the dirty bathtub and things like that.
In the words of the great thespian Tokyo Tony, well, kind of, sort of. But the thing is, I think Meredith has fully like stepped into her role as a housewife the last 2 seasons. Like season 1, we used to comment on it. Sounds like she was just kind of there, but she didn't really engage in a lot. She wasn't fighting with folks. Yeah. She wasn't like, she was just, her favorite thing was, I'm disengaging. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And it seems like now she's fully stepped into the ludicrous kind of petty drama of it all. And is fully just committed to like, oh, absolutely, I'm running with this. But we also saw her and Whitney kind of get into it last season. And so I think she knows Whitney well enough to know it's like, yeah, girl, we're cool at the end of it. But like you say one wrong thing and it's on site. And so this was just it. The hilarious thing to me was that she literally took a little comment of like, you know, I hope she cleans the bathtub. It was like, is she calling my bathtub dirty? Does she say that I don't clean my home? And I'm like, girl, sure, okay. That's what she's saying. But that also is the audacity of Whitney to talk about somebody bathing together when she had a coochie cat out in finger paint where her husband was employed, and she's the reason he lost his job. So, like, baby, people in glass houses should not throw snowballs. Like,
when she did that, we talked about it. We was just like, you know, I didn't want, you know, I didn't want to be, you know, on here as a man talking about certain things of a private woman's part, but literally, I was just like, she's in paint, washing around with her husband, and then like somebody just said in the chat from BKC Empress, when she was dropping that cake all over the damn house and the floor. Like,
I have to wonder, what are the camera crew doing when Whitney's just legs to the moon, cake all over the place, finger paint? Are they just like, oh my God? Like, at what point do we say, stop, y'all? It's not this kind of show.
Whitney and Babs, you know, to be honest with you, you know, she's not a dirty looking woman, but sometimes it looks like she hasn't taken a bath. I'll just say that. And so it just baffled me that she would make that comment. But, you know, one thing I will say is I do like stuff like this, because to me, this is what Housewives is about. I know it's like some things like that, but it's just the petty little things that, you know, because what else are they going to argue about? You know, everything doesn't have to be husband, wife. And
they've argued about it.
They will. They've argued. This franchise has gotten so dark to where I am relieved to hear them arguing about a bathtub.
And like what's it called? Taylor said, she literally said, "Don't go after my bathtub." Like that shit's ludicrous. But it was the fact that she thought she ate when she was like, "My bathtub is clean. My housekeeper cleans it once a day." I was like, "Sure, let's not bring it to hell."
And it surprised me. It surprised me that was Meredith, because, like you said before, she would never engage in anything in such a way ever. And it's like great. Now she has really tapped into a full housewife moment. You know, she may not be the most glamorous. She can give you a little glamour with her little feathers and shit like that. But for the most part, she's finally tapping into like, because it was a point where I thought she wasn't gonna make it. I thought she was gonna be above it all, but now she's right in it. And I like it.
Well, and it works for her because she does have an air of being a little more successful, a little more put together than the rest of the ladies. Like, she gives, out of everybody on that cast, Meredith is the one that gives a little bit of class, right? She reminds me a little bit of Eileen in the fact that she's like, I'm here, I'm establishing a career, but she's doing, she's doing what I wish Eileen had done more on Beverly Hills, is just like fully commit to just foolishness. Like, all right, if this is what we're doing, let's get into it. My bathtub, absolutely not. I draw the line at my porcelain.
Baby, she draws the line at everything. She said, my house, my bathtub, my husband,
my marriage.
She talking about my kid. Oh, girl, I'd be like Meredith. I mean, I was enjoying. I'm like, girl.
I mean, Whitney did get her though when she said, like, I don't know what your house, if it's clean or not. I don't know where you're staying right now. I don't know what rental property. I said,
Whitney has definitely. I think, honestly, she gained a new friend in Candace over the Ultimate Girls Trip, and they actually are really good friends. And so I think she's like tapping a little bit into her, like, she throwing a little shade. She using the word shade. So I think we're gonna see a different side of, well, not a different side, still annoying, but probably a little more messy, and probably some little shady reads. Like, if I don't like you, that's fine. I can always appreciate a good read, and I can see that she's kind of
she ate her up.
Got somebody on her team to help her out. She got somebody, and it's gonna probably piss Meredith off, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so the next scene was my favorite because Mary M. Cosby is back, and that was always my girl. I was so sad when she left. I know she wasn't your fave, but you did have.
I never said that.
Well. We don't go there.
Well, maybe.
But that we get this scene of Meredith at was it like her shop, her store, or something like that?
It was a store. I don't know if it was somebody's. I don't know who owned it.
It was something, but Meredith walks up. Meredith walks up. She still has her wet and wavy hair from season 1 and season 2. I know Antonio is probably somewhere cracking up. He's always called it. It looked like it was wet. It was given, a little Beyonce piece, but it wasn't Beyonce. Just wet.
It was given all of my Latina sisters in high school who threw the LA looks on it and said, "Here we go, we ready."
But she comes in and they give us a glimpse of all her sayings, little girl and inbred, and it just makes us remember why we really like Mary. And she comes in, she's fighting with the door, she can't get in the door, she feels like the door is broken, and they go to lunch. So at actual lunch, we find out that her son has a girlfriend who apparently is his wife. She doesn't really know much about it, what's going on, but she's trying to figure out what's going on. Robert Sr. has been in Vegas for 6 months. So it sounds like to me Robert Sr. has been having his best life, because he went there for the Usher concert. I'm just saying. Robert Sr. has allegedly probably understand. Robert seems to get his life, and Mary seems to not care. So hey, we ain't tripping about that.
And getting his life for Robert Sr., if we're going to be honest, he's probably in his hotel room just sleeping and watching TV. Like, he's just happy to be away from Mary.
He is just tired of being around those mannequins that Mary talks about.
He's like, get Annabelle out of here. I am not interested.
Get those things away from me, Mary. And so Meredith catches Mary up with what's going on with the group. Mary immediately asks about Jen, and Meredith is just like, even in confessional, like, I mean, she's going to jail. Like, what do y'all want me to say? Like, I mean, at this rate, what's there to talk about? Mary giggles when she, when they talked about her being guilty. And the last thing I remember from Mary when she said was, I pray to God that you're guilty. I mean, innocent. In season 2. But Mary says that she's relieved, and she felt like Jen, there was a big elephant in the room, and that elephant is now gone. They wrap up the scene where she doesn't like her food because she doesn't like spicy food, and she says when she eats it, spicy. It comes out spicy, like ouch, 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 ouch. And I was like, you know what? That was real because that's why I don't eat a lot of hot Cheetos because yeah. Any thoughts on this scene? Anything else on this scene?
I know it's only been a season, but I guess season 3 was so long and just draining. It really felt like it had been much longer since Mary's been on the show. So seeing her, like most times when people skip a season, you're just like, okay, girl, we didn't like, you're back. Okay. But it really felt like Mary was gone for a long time. Ain't shit changed. She's still rude as hell. She's still uninterested in being there. Like I've never seen anybody other than Nene's last 2 seasons who actively goes into a room and makes it known that they would rather be doing anything else than being on this damn show with the people that she's with.
Candy Bears in the
absolutely. Absolutely.
In the currency.
I love that Mary is continuing the Greenleaf tradition of being a pastor's wife who's leading a life of sin, who doesn't like her family, who hates her husband, whose family doesn't really care for her. So good for her. I love that. That's the show we need. Real life Greenleaf. Mary doing her own thing, looking tacky, just throwing on whatever she sees in the closet. Because she is unintentionally funny and she's needed on this show. But at times she feels like she is on a completely different show. So good for her. Let them be.
I think production and Bravo has found a liking to that because they see that we enjoy it. And it's not like she's rude in a sense to where she's like probably annoying production. I think she's in the moment and she's herself and she's around them. And they know she don't want to be around, but I mean she's around. and regardless if she's like engaging or not, she's still giving us a moment, some kind of way. We're gonna talk about that later, but yeah, she's still so.
Well, she's been that way since season 1. You commented on it. Like Mary felt like she was on a completely different show. Yeah. And originally, I guess she was supposed to be a friend of, and she got her snowflake or whatever late, so they had to do pickup scenes. But then in season 2, it was the same thing, and I think she's happy with that. I think a friend of, like, really, she's okay with that. Like, okay, I don't want to commit too much time. I don't want to hang around Lisa Barlow this much. Like, we're good. Tell me my 2 days I have to show up to work this week, and I'll be there.
True.
But she looked really refreshed because that face was
some classic lady acting with her face with fillers, but she looked good. She has really pretty skin. With the scenes when she would like have no wig on and no makeup on at home, she looked really good. We'll see her more. We'll talk about her more in the season, and I guess her beefs with the people that she has. We'll see what they are. All right. So the next scene we get Angie K. Now, Angie K is back as a full-time housewife. She came on as Jen's friend. Like I said, she did not leave as Jen's friend because she got champagne poured on her head. And we meet a newbie Monica and meeting with Lisa. So Lisa and Angie are still friends, but we know based off of the intro of the episode that Monica and Lisa are going to have a beef. We'll see what that's about. And we kind of see where it starts here. So in this scene, Lisa and Monica's energy is very interesting. They have a very, I know you, but I don't know you, or I know you, and I don't, we can't really talk about how we know each other, but there's something there. And so, in the confessional, Lisa talks about how she says immediately, we've talked before. She says in her confessional that she met her and she was running an errand for Jen at the airport. I don't know if that's alluding that she was working with her, but it kind of confirms some things, right? She makes a comment about fair skin, blonde hair, and she looks completely different. Now, on Twitter today, Monica did she made a post making 4 different bullet points where she was basically trying to check Lisa on all those points. We'll talk about that later. So how we find out is that we find out that Monica stepped in as for Jen's assistant once before. And Jen told her, well, girl, you can make all this money. All you got to do is put this in your name. And she said after that, she got a phone call and the person told her that she needs to get the hell away from Jen. And she, so shortly afterwards, Jen was honest with the jail, or she got arrested, but basically she then became a witness because of that. And then we find out that she's going through divorce. She's 36 years old. I think she has 3 kids. 4. Okay, 4. But she's 36, and her oldest is 12. So she started pushing them out early.
I would have never guessed she was 36.
I wouldn't have thought that either.
She gave me in late 20s. Like, good job, Monica. If you're watching this, good fucking job.
I agree. Sorry. She looks good. She looks good. And what I can say is what I I do like Angie and Monica's additions to like the beauty side, because Salt Lake City only in season 4 they were missing a sense of like, I don't know, relatability in terms of like glamour. Yeah, okay, well, glamour. And it seems like they came with it, and the other girls have gotten in line with their labels and things like that. You can see these things, right? She says 38. I thought she was 36. So she's 38.
Either way, she in her late 30s. Good for her.
She looks good. But I thought that was a very interesting casting call for them to get her on.
Messy,
the fact that Jen is on,
call.
But Jen is still now, because of her, still relevant, right? So like I said, there's weird energy between them two. And, she says that there would be times that when Jen was talking to Lisa and she would talk, Jen would just pass her the phone and she would just be listening and still be talking. Basically, we all know Lisa talks a lot. But at the end, Monica's asking questions about Lisa and her marriage. We know that Lisa and John are celebrating 20 years this year. And she makes a comment in her confessional that there are some lies and secrets that may need to come out. Any thoughts on this whole lunch sit down between them two and just Monica and Lisa's energy?
Monica is great. Like immediately just off this scene, she's the kind of energy that we need. She gave me very Jersey. Like if you were to plop her down in Jersey, she could hang with the big dogs out in Jersey. It's a messy type of set for Bravo to go and cast a star witness in Jen's criminal case as now her replacement. And I love it. Like I love this so much as she's telling her story, because again, the main storyline of last year was that Meredith was the one who called the feds. And as Monica is telling her story, she's saying that she was the one that called her friend in the FBI and ran some stuff by her, alluding to the fact that she was the one that possibly got Jen arrested. I don't think it was only like Jen had some case building against her. I love this energy. Both her and Lisa definitely gave the I know you. I'm not going to disclose too much on how I know you. Monica was okay with saying I know you and we know each other through Jen and leaving it there. Lisa, in true Lisa Barlow fashion, didn't want to admit anything and instead was concocting a whole other situation of how it happened. The greatest thing about this was that Monica absolutely let everybody know who is watching that Jen Shah hated everybody that she worked with and was happily running their business into the ground, running their names through the mud. And I cannot wait for all of this stuff to come out because Monica, she's Colombian and Portuguese. She fights. I know for a fact she's going to fight. And I love that.
My only concern is that I don't, Jen Shah is not there to defend herself. So, I don't want that to be her only claim to fame is that Jen. Okay, now we get it. We know how you're related. I'm sure some things will come out. There'll be some questions, but I don't want this to be an entire 16, 17 episode of just Jen Shah. Because Jen Shah can't even, she probably can't even watch the show where she is. So I think we should just probably leave her alone. Or maybe
even if Jen Shah was there to defend herself, like she's a narcissistic liar. So like,
yeah, but if nothing else, Jen Shah was gonna cause a scene. Yeah, how wrong she is. She would throw something, do something, and get herself out of it because she would cause so much chaos. And
I think Monica will probably spill enough messes that Jen Shah will very much be left in the background, and Monica will start some division on her own and carry that. She really doesn't give me the fact that she depends on anybody for any kind of storyline. I mean, she's a single mom of 4 girls. Like she can hold her own.
Kelly G says, well, first of all, Kelly G said that Monica's 38 and has a 17-year-old. I don't know how I missed that. Maybe I was in the kitchen, but I thought she said 36 and 12. But hey, if that's correct, Kelly G, which I believe you, then I'm wrong this time. So, and she also says, where's Angie Harrington? I don't know where she is. She can stay somewhere on Finsta. I don't have to see her this season, to be honest. She let me down last season. So we get to the fresh start party, and this party was put together by Heather because she said she felt like her and Whitney were having a fresh start. We see that start does not last long. It'll end that fresh because there's more drama coming in the trailer. But I said the girls look good. You can tell that the budget that the girls have gotten money. Obviously, it may not be a lot of money. I do know that they don't get paid a lot on this franchise. But they're doing well. Everybody's in labels. There's Fendi, Gucci, Louis. Everybody got. It used to just be Mary, because remember, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Mary give Heather her first designer like bag or something like that?
Bag.
Okay, so listen, the girls they got labels, and so good for them. The girls are there, and Whitney is gagging that Mary is there. Mary's sitting over there. She's to her. Their relationship was very little girlish. And Lisa shows up with Angie and Monica. Monica looks good. I thought she looked really good with her little cowboy hat, and her ski outfit. And I think, from my understanding, I don't think Angie K was initially invited, but she came with Lisa because Heather was like, "Why was she inviting the person that said the nastiest thing to me the last time we met?"
Yeah,
and then they showed the clip of Angie K saying that they were scissor sisters last year, Heather and Jen, and that's what got hit in the eye, right? And so, Monica makes a comment in her thing, in her confessional, saying that Jen had said nothing nice about Heather, but she also didn't say anything nice about anyone. So she makes that comment. Mary speaks to Lisa, their energy, and Mary's just like she's not nasty with anybody. She's speaking to them or whatever. And but Lisa says the last time that she spoke to Mary was a text message, and the text message read, because I have to read it all. It says, "Lisa, you're the biggest idiot, black widow, big liar. You'll kill people with your nasty tequila. That took me out." I hollered so loud. Evil witch, horrible, and a horrible human being. Now, I have actually had Vita Tequila in Salt Lake City or Park City, and it actually was pretty good. So, Mary, I love you, girl, but I didn't die. But, any thoughts on the beginning of this event? The girls sing Mary, the tension between Heather and Angie K, and the text message that was sent to Mary. I'm sorry, that was sent to Lisa.
I'm very confused why Heather was still holding on to that thing with Angie K, because like at some point last season, Heather was on the outs with literally every single person at that cast, and they got invited. So it's like whatever.
I was over it.
Really, very much. Ultimate Girls Trip kind of turned me back onto her just like that much. But you're right. The budget has stepped up for their designer, and we don't know if it's all real. I mean, half the stuff Mary wears isn't necessarily shown on runways. So the prints are there, but where they come from, whom's just to know? I thought everybody looked good. I think Mary walking into a scene and completely sequestering herself off to the side and making people come to her to introduce themselves and say hi is the merriest thing that you can do. I love that she's just working her way through the cast, sending them hateful text messages. I really wish Lisa's delivery would have been more like Whitney's when Whitney read her text message, because that's just like entered into the echelon of like iconic Housewives moments. But Mary tore Whitney a new one. But this text message, because I really want to know, what do they be talking about to piss Mary off this much that she just is like going on a fury of just word vomit to them? I really want to know what the conversation was like before, because I know Mary just doesn't wake up and randomly text people like, "You're going to kill people with your tequila." I mean, she may. I don't know. Something's going on there.
Okay. Heather gives her speech, talking about, new beginnings, fresh start, whatever. And afterwards, everyone takes a cheers. She sits down next to Mary, and Mary's just like, how are you doing, now that Jen is gone? And Heather's just like, it was a lot, it was draining. She talks about, basically like it was a lot, which I would never think it was a lot, because it didn't seem like it was a lot to me. It sounded like she, just like Mary said, you liked that lot. Like you liked that lot. So, I mean, you were, she said you knew what you were walking into, and they kind of show Heather like getting emotional. And I'm just like, I'm not feeling it, because you had 3 seasons of this woman dragging you through the mud, calling you Shrek. So if you were really drained and it was a toxic relationship, as you were making it seem like in this moment, you would have got out of it. I'm sorry, I don't care what you've been through. Like, no, 3 years of that, no, ma'am.
Yeah,
and she's probably.
That was a point of.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that was a point of contention on this show. It's like, girl, you keep going back to this woman who drags you, who embarrasses you, who shows you over and over again that you're disposable. I really think it was Ultimate Girls Trip when she was with a group of strangers and they were like, girl,
yeah,
you
no,
got to
I
get
agree.
the hell away from this lady.
I think Ultimate Girls Trip might have really been the thing because she was with people that weren't gonna just be like, oh, Heather. They always like, this girl's a criminal. Why are you her friend?
Absolutely.
That's Giselle was over there, so they
Giselle was all caller.
Right.
Let's talk to her.
We're not let up. That's what did it. So shout out to Portia and Portia, Giselle, and Candace and Leah, the Ultimate Girls Trip 3 cast. Was it 3? Yeah. The 3.
Yeah.
Was it 3? Yeah. On getting her out of that, or getting her mindset to know that she should have been got out of that bullshit. I'm just saying. But Mary was definitely reading Heather in that moment because when she said, well, you like that lot. And I said, well.
Yeah. She said, girl, you knew what you were doing. You knew what you signed up for.
And that's why Mary is needed. That's why it's needed. I'm just saying, because she is always gonna keep it real in that sense. All right. So then after that, Meredith pulls Lisa to the side. And she's like, she wants to have a one-on-one. I guess this is the party that they're about. The party's about fresh start. So I guess she's using to say like, let's talk, because I don't know how they ended last season. I can't remember, but I don't think it was just good. I mean, they haven't really been right ever since that whole horror, New York has sex with everybody in season 2, right? Season 2?
Was it? Yeah, it was season 2. Jesus.
Yeah.
It was during the trip of women.
Yeah. Heather asks everyone, has anybody read her book? Everybody says no, and Mary says no one's reading that book. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Because she actually said it in
loud enough. Mary,
but please. You know what? It was what I was thinking. So hey, it's what it is. Because I don't think anyone with a sound mind, unless you just really like Heather's, gonna read that book or has read that book. We'll just say that. And then Heather is over at the little bar area. Mary's over there. Whitney comes over. She's like, oh, I guess you can come on this side and be on the bartender side. And they're just like, yeah, this is our thing. We're with the bosom cousins. Like, we used to party, the party girls. Basically what Lisa was saying in season 1, that Heather was a good time girl. We know Whitney's a good time girl. We ain't got to be told that. Right? And they make reference to doing Special K. And Special K is ketamine, which they say is not legal and stuff like that. But Meredith is like, so Meredith is like, well, I don't know why you saying you don't do it. You said I did it. And so at this point, I'm like, oh shoot, Meredith she about to get ready to engage, child. So turns to Whitney, and Whitney just says, well, if I did say it, I will own it. Meredith says no, because you've been saying other things. You've been saying my house is dirty, my bathtub is dirty. And Whitney's just like, it was shade, it was shade, Meredith. I don't think you're dirty, but I'm just saying that I don't like to take baths with anybody. And so just like what we said, Meredith was just like, well, what if I made jokes about you, rolling around in paint with your husband, and getting bacteria in your vagina. And I'm just like, Jesus, Meredith girl, okay, you is turned up.
She was incensed. She was angry.
She was upset. She got to talking. She had a cigarette probably before she did that. She had a little cigarette. She
popped a pill. She popped the pill and let herself out. Allegedly. Let's be honest, baby. That lady be feeling real good at these filmings.
Correct. But
it's not ketamine.
Whitney's just like, let's just move on. Let's not have a grudge. And she's like, you hold grudges. Meredith is saying, I don't hold grudges. And Whitney's like, you do hold grudges. And she makes this comment. Whitney was like, let's not get too deep into this. Let's save our brain cells. And Meredith says, yes, we should save brain cells. I thought that was a slight. You don't have any brain cells, Alpha. That's what she wanted to say.
Oh, I love it.
But any thoughts on the conversation with we were kind of talking between Mary and Heather, or the conversation, the one-on-one that Meredith wants to have with Lisa, or specifically Whitney and Meredith one-on-one, how Meredith confronted this girl, and Whitney just kind of tried to toss it up as it was shade, it was a joke, like you shouldn't be that mad, which speaks to us. My question earlier, like, is Meredith too uptight? Thoughts?
There was so much happening in 5 minutes, like just so much going on. That scene with Whitney and Heather saying we're twins and we're the bosom buddies and we're the bartenders, that was so forced. I'm like, y'all still don't like each other, and it's fine and it's awkward, and let's not do this. I really want. How did the ketamine storyline become like the storyline? Like, of all the drugs that you could have pulled out, like, how did we pull ketamine out of the air to do? Like, nobody's a circuit gay.
That's what I was gonna say. You know, that
like, what are we doing ketamine for? You and Jen Shah doing ketamine and GHB. Where? When?
That's the first thing that came to mind, because the circuit scene, you know, that is a heavily used drug over there in that scene. And I was like, ketamine. Once they said Special K, I immediately knew what they were talking about. Like,
exactly. I was like,
when they went to the flashback, I was like, oh, they are talking about ketamine. They're talking about it. Wow. On this show of Mormon City.
Just, ketamine. Like, okay, girl. Okay.
I cannot.
It's, yes, Meredith holds grudges. Yes, Meredith is a little uptight. But when you're on her shit list, when she already doesn't like you, like, she's looking for any reason. I love it. Like, Whitney kind of punked out, because we've seen Whitney not be afraid to go toe-to-toe with people. She kind of stands in her shit. Like, that messy stuff last season when she talked about Heather being the one that heard the rumor about Lisa giving head for tickets. Like, she stood in that literally for an entire 38 episodes.
She's usually drunk when it comes out.
True. This is true. But I mean, Meredith packed her up. Meredith packed her all the way up, didn't raise her voice. What if I told you that you had a yeasty vagina after painting with your husband? I was like, what are we doing? I thought it was great. Like, this again, the lunacy of these fights is like what I love for Housewives. And none of it has high stakes. So I really like that the season off the bat is just fighting over absolutely nothing. Like, let's figure out why we're mad at each other. I will probably, and if they keep doing this, I will enjoy this a lot more. I don't want to hear any rumors about fraud. I don't want to hear rumors about, you know, giving head for, you know, nosebleed seats to the Utah Jazz. Like, I don't want to hear any of that. Like, I'm uninterested in that. Give me ketamine storylines, gay twinks doing GHB with Meredith, and like, let's do it. Let's run.
We can hold the gay twinks. We can hold them, because we don't need some popping up on the screen. Nah, let this stay between women.
The women.
It's women.
Look, Atlanta has shown me I've had enough of messy gays popping up to start drama.
No, for real. No,
Salt Lake
real.
City don't need any of it.
They have all been on Atlanta, and partially Potomac, and partially Beverly Hills. If you
don't talk about Eric that way.
The last scene was just them doing this snowball activity that Mary specifically says she is not doing that. And they supposed to throw snowballs. And first they were just playing around, and they got really, you know, they were throwing snowballs. If it was me, if I was Whitney, I would have been popping Meredith so goddamn hard with those snowballs. If I was Lisa, I would have been popping Meredith. If I was Heather, I would have been popping Whitney. I would have went after anybody. Like, if it was us, the lean cast, I'll be popping Chad in the head.
Sammy
with snowball.
Sammy and Chase.
Well, I would definitely Chad. And I might get a little bit of Chase too. But no, it was a fun activity. It was definitely a good time. Any final thoughts on this scene or anything in the episode, or just thoughts on what we may see in the rest of the season?
Production is messy as hell, and I love it. The cinematography choices were a thing of like Oscar beauty. Rather than showing Mary like from the face on not participating, I love the over the shoulder shot to show how far removed she was.
Exactly. She was like, I didn't have it going over there.
I love that Monica picked up Angie K and body slammed her into the snow.
I saw that. I was like, damn. I was like, okay.
It felt lighter, even with the frivolous like arguing. Episode 1 has absolutely felt lighter than the past 2 seasons, because Jen Shah and all her mess. Like season 2, we saw her get or not show up on the Sprinter van. Episode 1, episode 3 was all the fallout of her getting indicted. Like, I missed. Like, let's. It's going to be a good season if we can keep this energy, because I don't have the energy for 16 episodes of like what they've given us the last 2 seasons. I think having new blood in there that has shown up to work from episode 1 is kind of lighting a fire among the other girls. Not having Jen Shah there to suck all the energy out of the room has absolutely helped the rest of the cast shine. And we've said that on the last 2 seasons. Jen Shah, her gone, the show will absolutely survive because these girls just don't have an opportunity to talk about anything other than Jen Shah. And we're seeing it a little bit. So I have high hopes for the new girls, not Angie K. But for Monica, as long as she doesn't turn out to be a Trump supporting racist, like,
please don't give us.
Please don't embarrass me. Please, I can't. Chase said I only got one more strike.
Oh.
Like I can't stand a Trump loving racist anymore.
Oh Lord,
I can't do it.
Before I let our caller on, what do you think is the big thing that they previewed at the beginning of the episode where Heather's like freaking out and she's like, I can't believe that, you know, she lied to us and, you know, whatever it was. Like, what do you think happened?
I was very confused on the timeline. I thought that was when Heather found out that Jen pleaded innocent.
No, it was
I legit have no idea because this episode did a really good job of not really giving too much away about what was going on. Like, we didn't see a big setup to a lot of drama. It will probably have something to do with Jen. Monica will probably be the one that drops the bomb. But I'm interested to see how Monica and Lisa get from, like, frenemies to, like, full-on we're yelling at each other. Meredith was even yelling at who? Angie K?
Angie K. She was yelling at Angie K. Looked like she was talking, maybe slightly yelling at Lisa. And she also has issues with Whitney. So Meredith's going to be probably...
She need to get off that stuff. Get off that ketamine. It makes you angry.
When I know about
allegedly,
ketamine, I don't think ketamine makes you angry at all. From what I know,
at all. I don't think ketamine makes you anything other than
it just makes you like a. I don't even know. Let me just
to all our viewers who do ketamine, please let us know in the comments.
Okay, well, you got to talk on the side of your mouth. I'm weak.
For all our viewers.
All right, we got a call in the queue. Before we get this call on, make sure y'all like this video, and I do want to give a quick shout out to Kelly G, who gave us first super chat of the season.
Hey.
Kelly G says, I have to run, but you two are my favorite commentators. Thank you, Kelly G. One of my favorite viewers as well. I mean,
I am my own favorite commentator.
Anybody who is donating and giving these super chats, you're my favorite anytime. So Kelly, you're gonna be my favorite forever, right? All right. So first, and Sammy said he's gonna drag you, Jamie, by the way. All right, our caller in the queue that we have is Classy Lady. How are you, Classy Lady?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. How you been?
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I just wanted to say hi. I saw an interview with I think Dana from last season today, and like 2 different things. She was saying that, well, she did say that she would say to watch out for Monica. She was saying because she said that that Monica does know everything about everybody. And that that Lisa needs to watch out for her. And last time I watched What Happens Live, Lisa kept saying she doesn't like Monica, she doesn't like her, she doesn't like her. And so I think I may have missed what y'all's thoughts were about Monica while I was actually trying to switch over to get online to. I just want to know what y'all's thoughts were about her. But did y'all already talk about it?
We talked about it a little bit. I mean, personally,
I missed it.
I like her. You know, I said that I hope that she's not just Jen Shah. Like, I don't want to hear that. That's what I said. But overall, she, you know, when newbies come on, people are going to either say that they're boring or that they're thirsty. And from what I'm seeing, people are saying neither. People seem to be pretty impressed, not only with the connection that she has, but the way that she's already intertwined in the group. So I'm intrigued. I won't say I love her because you know how that goes. We get to episode 8 and I'll be like, I'm sick of her. But Jamie, did you?
Yeah, no, I liked her. Again, I like this energy. I think after the last 3 seasons of it being the Jen Shah show in the good and the bad and mostly the bad, I think a newbie to come in and just kind of have that connection to the old, but also shake it up. I think if she's dropping any of these truth bombs, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like she mentioned, everybody's trying to hide secrets and put on this front that their marriages or their lives are perfect. But Jen Shah was running them low to this girl. So like they should be scared of her. Piss her off, and she doesn't have any loyalty to y'all. So play nice. It's Housewives.
It's true.
I was just wondering, because like I said last night, Lisa was saying that she didn't. She pretty much was the only one who said so far that she didn't like Monica, and Dana was saying that pretty much everyone has fallen out with her, I guess, but she has the most leverage on the show because even though she's new, but she has the most information out of everybody. But Dana was saying that she was supposed to be on the show, but some stuff happened with her family and what have you. But Lisa was trying to call her to get her to be like alliances on her side, but she didn't like that. And I guess Angie K ended up being alliances with her on her side, but she was like saying on the show that you can see that you can by watching the show. But I guess she was trying to tell Angie from the TV show or whatever that you should be your own person. You shouldn't be a follower and blah 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 blah. And you'll be a better character on the show if you just follow your own self and not be under Lisa's thumb. I guess I don't know how all that stuff works, but I found that to be very interesting. That was like all today that came out. I watched it on it was like a YouTube live or whatever, but I thought that was interesting. And as far as the thing that started out in the beginning, I don't trust anything from Heather since the whole Black Eye incident. So as far as the whole thing started, I unless they show another scene of her with somebody else in it, or I don't know anything. Actually, I probably won't trust anything. It should have someone else in that scene that started it off. I would have believed if anybody else was in it besides Heather, but since it was Heather, I don't believe it. So I don't know.
She was so dramatic too.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you are you're not credible. You're no longer credible. Like the things you've done, it makes us question, everything at this point, because you're like, really, is this true? Just like Drew Sidor out here. We think everything she does is acting in lies because.
Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Not too much on the doll of Atlanta. Not too much.
What doll?
The doll. The doll. The doll.
There's nobody ever. Do you have anything else for us, classy lady, before we lean out?
Oh, I'm so sorry. What'd you say?
Do you have anything else for us before we lean out?
Probably no. Oh, did hear that Special K was supposed to be like legal in Utah or something like that.
What?
Or like or ketamine therapy or something like that, like for medicinal use. So maybe that's why she because Dana said today that if you notice that she said like that Heather dropped that there was a reason why Heather mentioned it on the show or something like that. But it's supposed to be like
she said in that moment that it wasn't legal. She said in that scene that it wasn't legal.
All I know is Dana's doing more talking post show than she did on the show.
I don't know, but she said she was supposed to be on the show, but she didn't get a chance to be on the show. I don't know, whatever. That was all.
Maybe she's on ketamine.
She was talking for like 2 hours today, so I don't know.
On ketamine. She on ketamine.
I think you may be the only person that actually listens for 2 hours. I would never listen to Dana for 2 hours.
Dana, I'm sorry.
I was doing.
Did you put money on her books or no?
I was doing my hair at the same time, but thank you. I'll see y'all next week. Thank you very much.
All right, class lady.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Too. Bye.
Yeah, I'm not listening to anybody for 2 hours, especially somebody that was a friend of. I'm sorry, not doing it.
I want to know if Dana finally put money on Jen Shah's books, because that would be iconic.
But you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I would have rather had her back than Angie K, because I don't like Angie K. I don't like anything about her.
So
ill,
inauthentic about it. Very ick. In the words of Aaron, isn't it ick? It's ick. Because at least Dana, like, she seemed a little authentic. Angie K does seem very calculated. She also seems like she could be from Jersey or Mob Wives. And we see in the trailer she's in the Greek Mafia. She didn't blink this entire episode. I was concerned. Maybe she got dry eyes.
I'm not sure. All right, y'all. Well, listen, on that note, we have no more callers in the queue. We want to thank you guys for watching. So today's recap was on today. You know, it's weird because Salt Lake City, they're airing this season at 9:00 on Tuesdays. And you know that
so late
here at the Lean, we don't do shows past 10 o'clock because it's just late. You know, for me, I'm on the West Coast. I can do it all day. But at the same time, I want to relax too after 7 o'clock. So listen, right now, this show and where it would be, it would ideally be on this day, but we also have Love and Hip Hop. So right now, like I said, we're trying to figure out the scheduling, as in where we'll be live, if it'll be live, if it'll be recorded and posted. But we will be here recapping for the season. We just got to figure out the scheduling with everything. Because there's so many shows, it's a lot of chaos right now with shows. So keep liking these videos, keep subscribing. If you subscribe, you'll know exactly. I make posts all the time when there's an update on a show. So if you are really with us, then you will subscribe, hit that bell, and you'll know exactly when we go live. Make sure you guys check out the Lunch and Lean tomorrow. That's going to be hosted by Danny tomorrow. Special guest host by Danny. And then Love and Hip Hop is going to be posted tomorrow as well. It will air shortly afterwards. And then we have Atlanta, which is on this last episode next week. New York is next Tuesday. So as you can see, we are very, 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 very Kelly Price busy around these parts. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Like the video. Shout out to everybody that watched. And we'll see you guys next time. Okay. Thank you, Jamie, too. See y'all next time. All right. Good
night, y'all.